we're about to talk about money and you're excited, you're enthused. You got your financial aid package and you were like, yes. Or that wasn't your initial reaction. Fair. Thanks, Bert. All right, y'all. I'm going to hand you over to Pamela Welch. Pamela Welch is our Senior Associate Director for Financial Aid. She is someone who knows the ins and outs of financial aid, funding, money. I go to her with my budget questions. She does a lot with our current students, admitted students, prospective students. She also participated, I guess, two big things she's done recently. Number one, she advocated for more federal funding on Capitol Hill recently. So she went down to DC, talked to some senators, and really put her money where the mouth is, you know, and talked about how we need to do a better job of supporting graduate students and their ability to access these programs. And she also took part in breaking the world record for the most amount of people gathered to eat pizza, which happened here in New Haven, the pizza capital of the United States. I know there are New Yorkers here, but we have it on a billboard. So I'm going to hand over to Pamela, have so much fun, and learn a lot.
Thank you. All right, everyone. So we're going to get started. I do want to let you know when Bree was talking about money, I do not have the money. It is not me personally. So, all right. So I have a QR code up there. Just like Matthias said, we don't want to do the exact same presentation, but there's a lot of important information that was covered on the 19th that we do need to probably cover again. And I think hearing it over and over again, it kind of gets in there. How many people watched the presentation on the 19th? Okay. All right. A few hands. Lot of information. So please watch it after you leave over the next few days. You will have so many of your questions answered. I do ask that you please watch that before you schedule an appointment because you're going to see that half your questions will be answered. So hopefully everyone has logged on. I'm going to start with that specific question. We're going to kind of go a little bit further. So please feel free to answer what area of financial aid that you would like to learn more about today. And then I'll make sure that I spend a little bit more time. It is usually student employment, and that is what we are seeing right now. So we don't have a lot of time. I did decrease this down from the 90 slide presentation that you didn't watch. No, just kidding. It was only about 30. Now we're down to 26. So here we go. All right, so this is about the overview of what we're going to handle today. So we're going to talk about the team, important dates, cost of attendance, type of funding, financial aid offer, certification form, future events. So let's get started. All right, so I'm going to move around a little bit. So here's our team. It's a very small but mighty team. So it is myself. It is Rosalie. So anyone that is an international student will be working with Rosalie moving forward. She's going to help you with the I-20. She's going to help you with all those documents. You will see that we will have a presentation. I don't have the specific date yet, but it will probably be in the next week or so, obviously, since these documents need to be in by May 1st. And then we have the mystery person. So that could be you. We have one position available for fund coordinator. So what you do is you spend your time looking for scholarship opportunities. So all the time that you work, you are looking for scholarship opportunities and maintaining the database. So you're not only finding scholarships for yourself, right? You're finding scholarships for the person sitting next to you. So it is a really great way to help your fellow YSE students as well as helping yourself, and you get paid. So that's my little plug for the position. I will say that we did have a lot of applications last year, so I'm hoping that we're going to double it this year. Now let's get started with important dates. Whoever saw this before, who watched my presentation, saw this exact slide. So these are the very important dates. We have May 27th. That is going to be the date that you are going to want to make sure that your loan request is in and that any sort of external scholarships that you've already uploaded them. If you do receive external scholarships after that time, or if you want to elect loans after that time, we definitely can make that happen. Just know that the bill will be released on July 1st, so it doesn't give us a lot of time to get everything in the system to make sure that you're showing that anticipated aid. The end of July, you're going to see that semester bill is due. October 15th is going to be when the spring loan only request form is due. Majority of the students in here you're not going to do a spring only request because you're not going to do a one term. Typically what you do is you apply for the entire academic year. And we'll talk more about that. November 1st is going to be when you're going to see the spring bill being released. So this tells you that you are not going to be charged the full tuition in July. You're going to have a semester and then another semester bill. So that should answer some questions that I've gotten over the last couple weeks. And then the end of the month, just like you saw for the fall, is when the bill will be due. I always suggest to students, don't wait until that last day. It takes time to process things like that. There are some late fees that do accrue. Typically, you're not going to see that be on the next day. They do wait a few weeks and things like that for that to happen. But just to play safe, get that in. If you have obviously questions, things like that, reach out to me. So I'm going to go quickly to this next slide because this is, again, a timeline, but in a different format. So this is really showing that breakdown. If you want to take a picture of this, this might be a good picture to have. So again, we're looking right here at some more specific dates. Let me get out of your way. All right. And the answer is student employment. So I will spend more time on student employment. Don't worry. So you're going to see here, again, we're looking at the same thing, but this is broken down per month. So what are you going to be doing? Or you should have done, watch that presentation. Now you're here. So thank you. We've accomplished this. So now you're going to work on what you need to do for April, for May, and you'll have everything set and ready to go so that you have a smooth process for financial aid. So the cost of attendance. You will see that above that solid dark line, you will see that it is tuition, activity fee, IT fee, and medical insurance. Those are the only direct costs that you will have on your bill that you will see in Yale Pay. Everything else below that line, those are estimated costs, and they are based on several different surveys and reports that we pull. One very important survey actually, is the cost of attendance survey that I send out to every single student. I will say last year we did have the lowest amount until I said to them, you guys have the worst survey results ever. So please, and then we actually got the highest number. So this is very important because this is how we base the numbers for the next year. So if I do not have what you are paying for your utilities, what it costs for books and supplies, then I'm not able to produce a really great, accurate number for you guys to create your budget. So please take it seriously, complete it. It's not too long, but it's very important. So that's the cost of attendance survey. So what you will see here is the total cost is $83,213. Again, that's an estimated cost. A lot of our students who do complete the survey, you will see that your fees and your expenses are a little bit lower than that. I will say too, for the medical insurance, there is a way to waive that insurance. There's a form that you complete. It is not through financial aid, but it is just Google Yale medical waiver form for students, and you'll be able to find that form. Now, a few other things I want to just talk about with these numbers is you will see on the financial aid certification form, 56,470. That is an accurate number. That is just combining the tuition and the fees. Then you're going to see on, what was it? In Yale Pay, I think it is, you're going to see 60,234. Again, that's an accurate number. It's just adding different fees together. So please be aware that a lot of these numbers are going to be accurate, but they're going to look different because they're adding, let's say, the activity fee and the IT fee with the tuition, or it's the whole amount. So you can come back to this. This is on your offer. This is on the website, and you can see that breakdown just to make sure everything is matching and it's exactly what you thought it would be. Now, two other points about this is your 9-month academic year budget, right? So there's 12 months. So you need to take into account when you're creating your budget to have it be realistic, you need to take into account those summer months. The other thing I would say is that this is the cost of attendance for the upcoming year. When you're planning your budget for the entire program, you want to take into account a 3 to 5% increase year over year. So it's very important. As we all know, costs are going up, so you want to make sure creating that budget, you take that into account. As you are aware from your scholarship letter, the scholarship doesn't increase up, so there is a little bit of a gap that you're going to have from the first year to the second year. So that's where the external funding will come into play, which we'll talk about in a moment. So this is a little sneak peek to your Yale Hub, where you can see under student accounts, you're going to view your bill, you're going to set up for direct deposit, you're going to request any sort of refunds or excess funding, and monthly messages. Everything is going to be located in that Yale Hub. And this is, again, a sneak peek for new student orientation. Yale Pay. So since the bill is going to be out before your orientation, I thought this is a very good slide to show you. This is going to show you, this is a little snapshot of last year, because obviously the charges aren't in for this year. But you're going to see the charges on there, your payments and credits, and anticipated aid. So very important, the anticipated aid. All of your scholarship funding, all of your loan funding, all of that will show as anticipated aid. Once it does pay out, which will not be until August, so you want to make sure if you're banking on that loan to help you get started, you're not going to have it. So you want to make sure you do have some funding available when you do get here, because that loan will not disperse out until about mid to late August. So how many people have been to this page, funding your master's degree? Please more hands, please more hands. Yes, excellent. So this is where you want to go. It has all of these wonderful pages that you can go to see your cost of attendance, to see student employment information. Under student employment, you're going to see your hourly wage. You're going to see stuff about teaching fellowships. There's so much information. There's also the frequently asked question page. So based on your questions, I keep adding them to this page. So if you see something that you think should be up there, send me an email, let me know, and we're going to get that up there. So quickly, I'm going to talk about these areas of funding. Why? Because this is all in the recorded presentation where I go into depth, and I want to make sure I give you enough time, because if anyone watched that presentation, you know it went the entire hour. So I know, get excited, financial aid for an hour. All right, so internal scholarships. You're going to see that we have the need and merit scholarships. You did have to complete the CSS profile and the YSE financial aid application in order to be eligible for the need-based scholarship. It is a one-time only process, so if unfortunately you didn't complete it, you are not going to be receiving funding for both years of the program. The average scholarship was $21,000. We also do have the merit. You're automatically considered for merit. And we have approximately 40 merit awards that we give out, and they do range from $5,000 to $25,000. Make sure there's anything else. Oh, very important to highlight is that YSE is a self-supporting institution. So that does mean that majority of this funding is from donors. So we will ask you in the fall, if you did receive a scholarship, to do a little bio and a thank you note for the donors. Some other donors, we're going to have other requirements, and they'll definitely reach out to you. External funding. So this is going to be a very important place since you've already received the funding from YSE. You might have a gap, and this is where you're going to want to go to, secure additional funding. So we have the Yale Grant database. That is actually below the external funding database on the page, which is under funding your master's degrees. And then what page would it be? Anybody? Hint? It's on the screen. External funding. Yes, that is where you're going to want to go. So when you go to funding your master's degree, you want to go to external funding, and you are going to come to these databases where you're going to find millions of dollars of funding. I feel like everyone's starting to fall asleep, so don't worry, we will go faster. All right, so external funding. Here you go. Maybe this will help. We have $1.6 million of funding available in that database over the last year. So please take a look at it. I did highlight a few scholarships on the presentation. I will highlight one that is closing in just less than 2 weeks, and that is the Samvid Scholar. So there's a whole bunch of other scholarships. I sent this in an email, but I did want to highlight this one because it is one of the largest scholarships out there. Unfortunately, it is just for U.S. citizens, but this is a $100,000 opportunity for 2 years. So it is $50,000 to up to $50,000. And they are looking for YSE students. We've had one get it every year for the last, I think it was 3 years now. So again, really great opportunity. Please apply. There are definitely different steps that you have to do, so you want to get started on that now. I did send out an email to everyone with a few other opportunities. I think that was in January, February, so take a look at that. Those are going to be closing soon as well. So again, this is a great place to go, the external funding page, to find additional funds. So you have the Yale Grant database, which I just talked about, and then you have the external funding database. You also have other scholarship searches that you can do. Scholarship.com is a great one. College Board, where you did your CSS, they have other scholarships there too. So just take a look. I would say the only red flag when you are applying for a scholarship is if somebody says, pay me money to apply for the scholarship. That is a red flag. You should not have to pay money to get money in this one instance. So just, be aware of that because there's a lot of scammers out there. So this is what you all want to know about. And I have some information to tell you, and then some of it, unfortunately, will be a different department that you'll reach out to. All right. So this is the most up to date. I got the new amount for, and it doesn't have it completely updated on there. It will be the 26-27 pay rate. And it is for YSE work study positions, you are looking at $18 an hour. So this isn't going to be a lot to offset maybe your cost of tuition, but this is going to help you with some food and some other incidentals that you have. So you are able, if you are a need-based student, you are eligible for all of these different positions. If you did not receive a need-based scholarship, unfortunately, you are not eligible for any that say financial need required. So there are definitely opportunities for all of students. You will be able to secure a job as long as you go and you apply for them. You do want to know that once you are in your classes, you are limited to 19 hours. That's the maximum amount that you can work while you're in classes. During breaks, you are allowed to go up to 40 hours as long as your supervisor does allow. You can also do multiple jobs as long as they don't go over that 19 hours. I've had students do 2 or 3 different jobs. For the YSE work study, as you can see, there are a lot of positions available. And then you add in the regular student jobs. Again, every student should be able to find a position if you'd like one. So for the teaching fellowships, because I'm assuming that's where a lot of people are going to want to know about. How about this? How many hands want to know about teaching fellowships? Oh, that's almost everyone. All right. So those are, I can't tell you anything about it. No, I can. I can tell you a little bit. So here we go. So for teaching fellowships and research assistantships, I don't have the budget. I don't know what positions are available. There we go. That's what I know for you. Here's what I can tell you. The time is now to actually reach out to the professors and the departments to try to secure these positions. So they have their own budgets. They know what positions that they have out and that they are looking for. So unfortunately, there's no database, right? So you do need to do a little bit of legwork here. So you are going to want to reach out again to these faculty members, these departments to try to secure those positions. But what I say every time is do not fret if you do not receive this job for your first semester, first year. Makes sense. You might not know the professors. You might not know the departments. So secure one of the YSE work study jobs, secure another employment, and then build that rapport with these professors to secure them in future semesters and future academic years. You will hear from a lot of students now. They're like, yes, I was able to secure that for my upcoming year or in my second semester. So again, don't fret if you didn't get in your first semester. Look, there's only about 30 plus available, right? So take the time though to start now and try. Those are higher paying positions, as you can see on the slide, and it does go based on semester rather than hourly. Let's see, is there anything else? The student employment site is yalestudentjobs.org. You all can write it down, or you can navigate to funding my master's degree, and then can anyone guess what page? I'm sorry, can somebody raise their hand? One person raise their hand to answer that question. Yes? You get a prize. It's a little something because I'm saving the big one for the quiz. All right, here, if you wouldn't mind. I know I'm out of the screen, sorry. What's that? Oh, I wish. All right, so don't worry, the prizes get better. Please come to the actual events, they even get better. So, all right, so more about student employment. So again, we're looking at now for the teaching fellowships and research assistantships, YSE work study jobs, regular student jobs. One second, and I will come. Those are all going to be in about July and August. Yes, question. Yeah, great question. So you can go to anywhere else, but just understand, see how many there are? That's going to be the same thing at the other school. So it's going to be hard, but go ahead, reach out to them. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Huh? I do not handle PhD, so I have no idea. Sorry. Yes, sir. So that can fluctuate. You would need to speak to the actual person that hires you to see what their budget is. But typically, I think it's in the same pay range. Yes. That's a great question for HR, which was my first question I didn't pull up, which is what questions are for financial aid? And I get all of them. So please continue to ask the questions, and I'll have to direct you sometimes to other departments. So I don't know, but I would assume, no, let me not make, I'm not going to assume on this one. I have no idea. But HR is who pays you. So this is actually very interesting. So I'll give you a sneak peek. If you are going to get a federal work study job, you're going to be even more confused with financial aid because we're going to put it on your account, but you're not going to get paid through financial aid. So you're going to see money that looks like, oh, here's an extra $500, $600 that I get. No. You get paid through HR, but we have to put it on your account. I'll explain this in new student orientation. But, as you all know, financial aid is very interesting. And we always have, it depends. So if you ever see anything, crazy on your account, again, reach out to financial aid. That's why I'm here to help explain it and I'll tell you what's going on, which once we get to student loans, there we're going to go a little nutty as well. So, and that is actually the next slide. So before I move on, student employment was what you really wanted to know about. Are there any other questions that I could hopefully address? All right, so July and August, you start applying for those jobs. All right, so student loans, things have changed significantly in this area. So domestic students, we are going to be working closer together so that you can secure funding. There used to be the PLUS loan. It's gone. So starting July 1st, 2026, you do not have enough funding with federal funding to cover the total cost of attendance. So you are unfortunately going to have to go to the private loan market. With that being said, Yale, do I have it in my notes? Yes, here we go. Yale does not endorse, recommend, or promote any of the lenders included in Elm Select. Yale students are not obligated to borrow from these lenders and may select any lenders. I will have this memorized, I swear, in just a few days. So we do not, advise you on any specific lender, but you can go to our historical lender list. It is on our Funding Your Master's Degrees, and then come on, guys, interact with me. Student loan page, yes, thank you. All right, so that's where you're going to want to go and find that historical lender list. So those are lenders that students have used in the past. So it's a great place to start. That doesn't mean that's where you stop, but that's where you start. So what I ask for this is that you please have, your budget started. You go and you talk to these, you don't have to talk to them, but you go and you get different offers, different terms and conditions. You see what your interest rates are going to be. And then if you have questions, please set up an appointment so that we can discuss this and kind of navigate this together, because it is completely different for the students to now have to go to this new market. So please know that I'm also, not to tap myself on the back, but I'm also the VP for the Connecticut Financial Aid Administrator. So I do the training and networking for all of Connecticut financial aid administrators. So this is a huge topic. So I'm definitely in the forefront of it. As Bree stated, I went to Capitol Hill. So I'm really trying my best to do all that we can to make sure that you guys have the funding that you need. Again, we are a small self-support school. So if we did have, billions of dollars, we would give everyone a full package. Unfortunately, we don't. So what I do is very hard. I take the funding that we have and I spread it out amongst all of you for 2 years, not just 1 year, but for 2 years. So we do know that some students have to utilize student loans. And this is where, again, please reach out so that I can help you, because, these are things that you will be paying back once you do graduate. So I will talk about this in a moment, but I do a session right when you guys have your first disbursement so that you know things now, not after you graduate. So it's very important. And like Bree said, very near and dear to my heart. All right. So here's that financial aid offer screenshot. So that is your offer. If you had a combined offer, it will say that it's combined. So if you saw anything that's above saying a specific amount, typically you're going to see the total combined amount in that box. Not typically, all the time. You will always see the combined amount. And then that is where you click to download your PDF, because you do need to physically sign this, date it, and then upload it into the portal. That is part of the process saying that you are accepting your offer. Very, very important, though, is completing that admissions reply form. And these dates is April 15th. So we need all of that completed by April 15th to lock in your enrollment here at YSE for the fall. And then last but not least, what's highlighted and will blink, that's the signature. So I did find from one student that reached out to me and said, we don't have a signature. So there was an issue, fixed it. So if anyone has any issues like that, like I say, if you see anything funky, definitely reach out to our office so that we can correct any issues. If you were 3 Karens, Beckenstein, Rewild, you are going to have a picture similar to that, and it's going to say congratulations. If you did not receive that, then that means you are not a recipient. So just be aware. I know I've gotten a few students that have reached out and said, I'm not sure. If it wasn't in your offer, then you are not a recipient of it for this year. Now, I will pause to say Beckenstein does have a summer component as well as a postgraduate stipend component. Other departments handle those, but there's definitely funding when you get here that you can secure. So just know if you keep looking at that database, you look at your student newsletter, you're going to see other opportunities to secure scholarship funding. All right, so student employment. Again, this is part of the presentation, so I will quickly say, you will see this on your offer. If you're eligible for work study, you're gonna see that right there, the bottom one that says work study eligible jobs. If you're not, you are going to see the top message that says YSE regular student employment and on-campus jobs. And the price wasn't told to me until yesterday, so sorry that it says $17.50. All right, next steps. Again, very important. April 15th is to sign that offer. May 27th is to elect your loans and upload your documents. Again, you've already got past the hard cutoff, which was submitting your application. Everything from now on is usually more of a soft deadline. I will work with you so we can get everything in and get it situated. All right, the financial certification form. So this will be gone into depth for international students, but we did start asking our domestic students to do this as well. And why? Because it's a high-level document that's going to show you like a budget breakdown. So you're not, let me put my domestic hat on. For domestic students only, this is not something that you are going to have to stay and stick to, right? So say if you put on here student loans that you're going to be utilizing, then you got a scholarship. It doesn't mean you need to take out those student loans, right? Or say, again, for domestic students only, you're putting on that you have say you have a current employment that you will have and you put that on there, that's fine, right? So now I'm gonna go over on the domestic side. So, the international side, a little different. International students, very important that this form shows you the exact funding that you have planned when you go to your appointment with the embassy, right? So you're not gonna wanna put on work study employment, teaching fellowships. Why? Because those are not secured funding. Those are things that you're hoping to secure, but you don't have secured today. So please know, for any international students, attend the visa presentation. They're going to talk in depth about this. Right now, I know I see somebody cringing off to the side who used to work for international OISS, and they're like, oh, we'll have more information. So please know, attend that session. They will go into depth on it. For domestic students, again, this is a high-level budgeting tool for you, okay? So we're almost done. Future financial aid events. This is going to be covered in new student orientation. We'll go into depth on your charges, how the anticipated aid works, when it's going to show as payments, when you can get your excess funding. SAP, very important. If you want to continue to receive your financial aid, you must be able to pass SAP. So pass your classes. We have a very strict SAP policy. I believe it's 2, and unfortunately you are withdrawn. So again, staying in contact with academics, with student affairs, with financial aid throughout your time here is going to be the best thing that you can do so that we can help you throughout this. I don't want you to stress about financial aid. I want to make sure that you know what's going on, you have that plan set, and you can just focus on your academics. So SAP isn't an issue. So here are our future events. So I do a navigating external scholarships. Actually, the fund coordinators put that on. They have a great time. Personal budgeting for success. So you bring your laptops, you sit down, and you get that budget. Gives you a space that you can sit and create that. What you need to know now. So that is new. That is what we're doing. So when you first come here, you have your first disbursement as a grad student. What do you want to know now about what you're going to need to know when you graduate, right? So I think it's really important, again, to make sure you have that financial literacy. We do a 3-part workshop series. I'm not sure if we'll be with the New Haven Pizza Party, but we will see. But we have budgeting, responsible borrowing, and social responsible investing. And then, of course, loan repayment for people that are graduating. So as Bree stated, this is academic school. So it's quiz time. Everyone get out your phones. Okay. We are about to begin. I don't know how much time I have left. I don't have the flaggers aren't here, so I could keep going. All right. All right, get ready. You're all ready and I'm not. All right. It is 8 questions, and we will begin now. Okay, we have a few people. Oh, we got a lot of people join. Awesome. All right, first question. Ready? Okay, it's like 10 seconds each question. What is the deadline to say yes to YSE? All right. So unfortunately, you can't see it up here, but I will tell you, it's April 15th. Oh, you can see it on your phones, huh? All right. As you can see, this is my second time doing this. So next question. Oh, I guess I have to show the leaderboard each time. Okay. What is the deadline for submitting your hand-signed and dated financial aid offer? Oh, geez, we got some great students in here. All right. So the answer is April 15th. July 1st will be the date that your bill will be released. Don't wait until then to sign the offer because you're not going to be accepted. Okay. Will my July bill reflect the full annual tuition charge? So we have yes, we have no, it will reflect 980, and yes, it will reflect the full 55,960 on the fall semester July bill. So the answer, there's 2 of them. So it would be no, and no, it will reflect half the amount. So the full amount will not be charged in July. You will not have to cover the whole tuition. All right, we have a new leader. How do I know if I'm eligible for YSE work study? On my offer under student employment options, it says work study. On my offer under student employment options, it says regular student jobs, or I must guess. Ooh, we got 100% on this one. Excellent, thank you. It is definitely gonna be on your offer. I also actually send out an email in about July, August that lets you know as well. So you can use 2 different confirmations as proof of your status. All right. Ooh, again, we have a change in the leaderboard. Next question. There's only 8 questions. So. Is there a cap on student loans? I kind of didn't talk about this. But if you watch my other presentation or if you looked at the slide, you'd know this answer. So I guess it's a little bit of a trick one. So there is a cap. And actually, I'm very excited to announce if you are an international student, we have been able to raise the cap to 40,000 for the annual limit. So if you were really close and you needed that extra $2,000 or $3,000, we have you covered. Reach out to me, and you now have the funding that you need to be able to come here. So that was really awesome. All right. So the answer to that is yes. Again, there's a cap. 20,500 for unsubsidized. Mia's back in the running. Okay, where do I find the loan request link? So YSE student loan web page, offer, or I must guess. That's right. It is on both of those places. So you have a link to go in your offer through the portal, or you just go to that student loan page and you can get there. When is the financial certification form due? So that's that form that I showed you that's going to show you the budget breakdown. Did I do something wrong? Oh, previous. Okay, this is like 20 seconds to answer this question. May 1st, May 15th, do I have to do that? Yes. Ooh, I'm glad I added this one. All right, 1 second. Sorry. Okay, reveal answer. May 1st. So this is a change, everyone. Everyone, this is a change. It used to be May 15th. We need all of your documents, especially international students. If you're not here, international students, May 1st is your deadline to get your documents in. Domestic students? Okay. Will my excess funding be automatically deposited into my bank account? Again, I feel like I didn't fully cover this one, but we can infer, right? Oh, yes, no, or it depends. And I love who's answering it depends. Because that's financial aid's answer for everything, unfortunately. All right, reveal answer. So it was yes, and it depends. Why does it depend? Because, thank you. Yes, I got to laugh. Why does it depends is it depends if you actually filled out the form to get the refund. So if you didn't do the direct deposit authorization form, you didn't do those, then no, you're not going to get it. If you did, then yes. So, all right. And that I think was it, right? Are we done? Anna, where's Anna? So this is a little bit of a better gift. So YSE, we're known for our to-go containers, usable. Okay. And that was our fun little quiz. I think we're probably at time, but very quickly. I have more time? Yes. All right. We have time for questions. Thank goodness. All right. So this is the contact methods. I'm going to go walk around now. So these are the contact methods to get a hold of me. The next slide just questions. So we're going to leave it here so you have that. Virtual appointments. You'll see on basically almost every email that I send out. We'll have those links. Schedule a financial aid appointment. Just click there. You're going to get to the calendar. You can schedule a one-on-one appointment. I do actually have a few appointments available this afternoon. There is a sign-up sheet outside 104. Note, that is not my office. You will not see me in Croon. I am up the hill at 300 Prospect. So if we do have any sort of in-person appointments, which I definitely do, reach out to me and we can schedule something. We're not on campus every single day. So I just want to make sure if there's a particular time that you need in day that I'm able to accommodate you. So just reach out in advance. Financialaid.ysc@yale.edu. That's going to be the best way to get a hold of the small but mighty financial aid team. So definitely send emails there. And then that is our contact telephone number. So I am going to open it up for questions. Yes. So you're looking for work on campus. I don't want to know. Next question.
In choosing whether to take the health insurance or go for a waiver, where can we find information about the policy terms of the coverage terms?
Yeah, great question. So there is a lot of information on the, if you just Google basically Yale Health, you're going to get to the Yale Health page. I bet it's just like yalehealth.edu, but I don't know specifically. On that page, it's going to show you coverage. It's going to show you prices for family if you wanted family health insurance. It has a link to the form. So a lot of information is there. It also has their contact information. So let's say you didn't have your question answered throughout all their pages and subpages that they have, just send them an email and then they'll be able to advise you. I will say I did do a session because I'm an overachiever. So I went to the medical insurance session and because I want to make sure I have this information for y'all. They are tightening the waiver process. So it actually has to be an insurance that is equivalent to their insurance. So I believe like the state Medicaid is no longer going to be sufficient because it just doesn't cover as much as the Yale Health insurance covers. So you definitely can waive it. There's 2 times to waive it. They might have changed the dates, but last year was September 15th for the fall semester. And then I think it was sometime in January for spring, but you can waive it for the entire year as well. You're welcome. Yeah, you can definitely waive it for 1 semester. Yes. Oh, I have a yellow flag. I don't have much time. So a few more questions. I think you have a question. It is. So I did not cover that. So thank you. So joint degrees, it all depends on what school you're going to be attending and where you're going to be starting, right? So certain programs you do need to start at the other school. So for instance, law, right? But SOM, you can decide what school you want to start at. So what will happen, say you start, example, you start at YSE, you'll do your 1 year here at YSE, you'll get your funding at YSE, then you're going to go to SOM. So the next year, you don't have to do the renewal application with YSE because you're not attending. So you're going to do everything you can and you need to do with SOM. You secure funding with them. We're completely separate schools, so funding doesn't transfer over. So you do your SOM, then you let me know in your spring semester at SOM or wherever it is, whatever school, Jackson, and you say, I'm coming back. You do your renewal application. You never have to do the CSS again, just the renewal application. And from there, you then decide again what school you're going to attend in fall and then which one you're going to attend in spring. You work with Roseanne and and then basically you'll get your funding for 1 more semester. So if it is that sort of program where it is basically you're doing 3 years, 1 year one school, 1 year the other school, and then the 3rd year you are splitting it and your funds get 1 semester for one school and 1 semester for the other school. Did that clear up your question? Okay. Any other questions? I think I have time for maybe one more. All right. Well, so glad that I answered all of your questions, but I know things will, come up along the way. So I do ask, because we are a small but mighty team, please try to get all of your questions in one email and then send it off so that I can make sure I can address all the students. Thank you so much.